Hey, Jesse.
Hello, Lindsay, and everybody. Hello.
And everybody.
Yeah.
Hey. Hey, YouTube. Hey, TikTok Live.
What's up?
What you having to drink today?
What's up? It was some leftover pineapple Jim Beam.
Yes.
And I put a watermelon Vista base, so now... Was it watermelon? Yeah. No?
I had
no,
a pineapple.
strawberry. Strawberry.
I had a pineapple White Claw in there. You could have added to it.
Strawberry Vista Bay. So I think I just turned it into a schnozberry. Yeah.
Schnozberry.
Yeah, because the schnozberries taste like schnozberries over here, Lindsay. What did you drink over there? What are you doing?
My mango and peach combination with mango. Actually, today it's like mango White Claw, peach Vista Bay, and then peach Vibe Celsius.
Nice.
To keep me going. We had our G babies over for the night, and
The whole 4-pack.
we
Yeah.
we
was very
maybe
fun.
collectively got like, because he and I,
Yeah.
after they went to sleep, we were like, we continued to having a few drinks, and we just started like rambling to each other while we're watching Annie.
Yeah.
And we did not go to sleep until maybe 1:32, and then 2 of the 4 were up. Oh God, like what, 5? And they were ready to talk and
Right
hang.
on rip.
And,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and then got them back to sleep around 7, and I kind of was in and out. I mean, he was snoring. You were doing great, but then we had to get up, and make them breakfast, and all the good things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was a
today,
lot. It was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. We had a great time. So today we actually forgot one recap where I did, because Jesse was like, "You're missing one that we
You were
didn't
like, "No,
recap,"
Jesse.
and I was.
No way. And I was like, yes way. Yes way.
So we forgot to recap Catherine Knight. So today we're going to be recapping our episode about Catherine Knight and the Idaho 4, which just came out this past Friday. And if you're on YouTube, when this comes out, we will literally be going to Rockville tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm so ready. I'm excited.
so excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our trip that we look forward to every year.
Yeah, because, I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. Yeah. I just, figured out.
Yeah, we're gonna get to see Lamb of God and Parkway Drive and Lorna Shore and Slaughter to Prevail and My Chemical Romance, and what am I missing? I'm missing a lot. Spine Shank will be first time for us.
Not for us.
Well, for me,
Yeah,
excuse me.
Yeah.
And
So that's what made me feel old right there. Last time I seen Spine Shake was in the 90s.
Oof.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them, so I'm excited. And I mean, we've got a lot more on the roster
At
for
the Milk
sure.
Bar. Not to toot my own horn, Lindsay. At the Milk Bar.
We're going to see Non-Points.
Yeah.
And Thy Art is Murder and Chelsea Grin. I'm excited for the heavy shit that's going down next weekend. Well, this coming weekend, if you're on YouTube. So we'll start with, I got to go from memory here because I can't find my script on Catherine Knight. So, Catherine Knight. I want you to give me your thoughts first.
It was a Catherine Knight.
It was a dark Catherine Knight.
I don't remember much of it, to be honest with you, Lindsay. Like, that was like a month ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you're trying to make me, you ramble and then it'll all come back to me.
So, Catherine Knight was from Aberdeen, New South Wales in Australia. And she was born, she was a twin, and she was born into a tumultuous situation, which kind of defined who she would later become. But I do want to point this out at the same time. None of her siblings, because there was 7 of them total. There was 8. Her mother produced 8 children. The other 7 didn't do the things that Catherine did. So I don't even want to say that was the reason why, but
Yeah, now I'm remembering now. Yes, you went through all the stuff and then in and out of some trouble, and then she married a bunch of dudes, right?
Okay, so we'll get started. So she was I have to be really careful with my words on TikTok, so I'm going to do like abbreviations. She was essayed at a young age.
That's right.
And it was said that it was by her father and her half brothers. And then she was 15 when she dropped out of school and did not know how to read or write. And I thought that was wild. But when I listened to some other things about this case, I guess that was kind of normal in this area because it was an area of, there was like two industries. You were a miner or you were a butcher. And Catherine went to the butcher side, which was pretty much what all of her family did. It was an abattoir.
Yeah.
Or abattoir. Something like that. They went and they cut up animals.
Yeah,
and it
Lindsay
was
did,
a big industry.
She did always, you said it a couple of times during the podcast, like she always carried her knives and things with her. Yeah.
She was very good at what she did. She was promoted quickly within the company. And she was crazy. We're just going to put it like that. Okay. So she was a walking red flag. Her first husband, she physically and mentally abused. And I don't have my script with me. I don't know where it is. I looked everywhere and because I keep all my scripts in one stack and I don't know where it went. It'll probably appear as soon as we get done with it.
So that's the one whenever it all fell out, like she was at a gas station?
No. That was number 2.
Oh, yeah.
So, wait. No, that was number 1.
That's what I thought. Now let me tell my me. Let me tell my me.
So she was young when she got married and she has a baby and goes through insane postpartum depression. You have to go and listen to our full episode to get all of those details, but it is a wild ride. And she should have had her children taken from her, period.
Yeah, doing the shady stuff on the railroad tracks with the little baby carriage. Yeah, not cool. Not cool at all. And then what happened at the gas station after all that fell through?
Hostage situation at a gas station.
And Hoppy, man. Hoppy.
Yeah, go listen to the full episode for that. Learn what happened to Hoppy. Learn what Hoppy had to do with anything. And learn how, and go get all the details of how she literally held a family hostage because her husband left her. Like, it's crazy.
Still got away with it.
Yeah. So she ends up, after she goes crazy over this guy leaving her, and he feels responsible and tries to work it out with her, she ends up leaving him for another guy who has pretty much the same experience with her. And she keeps making children. And then that guy didn't work out. And then she gets with another man. And that's where it just completely escalates into the M word. I'm on TikTok, like I said.
Does it? It does, don't it?
It does.
She got
end up that way.
She got to the point to where she took him out. And
took him out.
It was horrific.
But the road to her taking him out is wild. So please go listen to the full episode.
Yeah, and the rump roast that she had cooking too. So that's yeah.
So like I said, being on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. I don't even know YouTube's rules, but we get restrictions sometimes from TikTok. So I got to be a lot more careful with how I explain things in these recaps. So yeah, she skins him, cooks him with vegetables, and
sets up plates for her kids.
Not her kids, his kids.
Or the kids, yes.
His kids. His kids from a previous marriage.
Yeah.
And she goes to prison, and she ends up actually thriving there, which is wild. So make sure you go listen to our full episode on that. Now, we're going to jump to our most recent, which is the case of the Idaho 4, the student murders that happened on 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. What were your thoughts about this one, sir?
It was all over the place because these kids kind of had a little party life going on. People were in and out and things were happening, and some unfortunate stuff went down right there. Yeah.
So our 4 victims were Madison Mogan, who went by Maddie, and then Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, Dylan Mortensen. Yes, that's the 4. And then they were roommates with Bethany. It is Funk. I think I did a little extra. It's Bethany Funk because I couldn't remember. I didn't know if it was Funky or Funk. And Dylan Mortensen was the roommates. They all lived in a nice house off campus, and that was neighbored with other off campus like apartment complexes. They had a huge friend group, and I tell Jesse that they are part of the Greek life, and he didn't understand that was sorority and fraternity life, and he thought they were actually Greek. And he was so excited, but I'm like, no, I had to let you down.
I was like, this is gonna be really cool, like with all the culture and the stuff. But like, no, it's just college Greek. I just didn't put it together. I don't know why.
And I need y'all to know that we went into this whole deep dive last night after the babies went to sleep, and we had a couple more drinks, and we were Googling like when university started, when Greek life started. It was
Aristotle stuff.
Yeah, then
right?
we got into Aristotle and Galileo. Like our conversation went really sideways.
For some reason, I was thinking back like Socrates type era, which is way on back, right?
You didn't have me Google Socrates at all.
I know, but I was thinking that. I couldn't bring it up at the
all
moment.
while we're watching Annie.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because we're trying to not really force, but influence our grandbabies to love old school musicals.
Yeah, and they do. That's good. It's good stuff.
They do a lot.
That's the best stuff. Start there at least. No, you can do the new stuff too, but always have the good oldie goldie stuff, right?
Oh yeah, because I want them to love Hairspray and Greatest Showman and Wicked and Chicago. Chicago's got to be way later.
Yeah,
they're babies right now.
Little Shop of Horrors though could be on the roster for this Halloween there, Lindsay.
I think so.
Yeah.
So they're all living in this house on King Road, which is the party road. This is a party house. There are people in and out all the time. They all simultaneously, like I said, are in sororities and fraternities. Now, Dylan, he wasn't actually a roommate, but he was Xana's boyfriend. So they called him, he was there all the time. So they called him the honorary roommate. And he was part of a set of triplets. His brother's name was Hunter and his sister's name was Maisie. So the night of, where is it at? November 12th.
Yeah.
Thank you. They had all been kind of partying all day. They had events with the sorority and fraternities that they went to. They had some games to go to. And they get home. Everybody's home around, I think it was 2 a.m. All the roommates are home, and then Dylan is over to stay the night with Xana. So I'm punching microphones here. Oh, and so Kaylee had a little golden doodle named Murphy that she had shared custody with, which, like I said, listen to the full episode, but we talk about Murphy. It was like a little split custody thing with her boyfriend that she had recently broke up with, but they were still kind of talking. It was, it's a thing. We've all been there. Children, it happens.
Right.
You break up, but you're not sure if you really want to break up, and you're still talking. And I'm sure it's even like, when we were going through breakups when we were younger, we would do that same thing. And I'm sure it's even more predominant now when it's easier to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
You can just text and you can just call. Like, we couldn't do that back then. Like, you had to call on the landline and sometimes have to deal with the person's mother or father answering the phone. And yeah. But anyway, so Dylan, she is in her room sleeping around 4 a.m. and she is on the same floor as Xana, who's having Ethan over to sleep over. Kaylee and Maddie are on the floor above, and then Bethany is on the bottom floor which is the basement. But if you've ever seen a split level house, like the basement is a whole different floor. It's not just a basement.
Right. Yeah. The second level of this one, you could actually walk up on the hill and go right in.
Right. The second level was actually like the main level.
Right.
That was where the sliding glass door was. That was where people came in and out of, and they had like a deck that they would hang out on. So we're now on the 13th. Everybody's home by 2 a.m. Everybody's in their room doing their own thing. And Kaylee was in Maddie's room. Like I said, Ethan had come to stay with Xana. And Xana got some food delivered at 4 a.m. and was on TikTok. And during this time, Dylan she's hearing some things. And at first she thinks it's Murphy just, scurrying around. And like I said, these kids have been drinking and partying all day long. Dylan's in a disoriented state of intoxication and sleepiness. She opens her door. She doesn't really see anything that bothers her or that's out of place. She shuts her door. I think she does that like a couple of times. Then the third time, I believe is what it was, she sees a guy that she does not recognize, but like I said, it's a party house and people are in and out all the time. She sees a guy that she doesn't recognize, but he has bushy eyebrows and he is dressed in black head to toe, and he just walks out the sliding glass door, walks right past her. Now she messages Bethany, who's in the bottom floor, and Bethany's like, well, I didn't hear anything. I don't know if anything is going on weird, but if you want to, come down here and hang out with me. So since Bethany really didn't hear anything, Dylan's like, maybe I just made it up, and maybe this guy was hanging out and just left. So they go to sleep. And then when Dylan wakes up later on in the day, she kind of panics and she's like, maybe this wasn't a dream. So she starts to call other friends that live on the same road to come over and see, if they will check on their roommates, because they're kind of scared now at this point. So their friend Hunter Johnson and a couple of other friends come over. Well, Hunter Johnson goes to this second level and he sees that Xana and Ethan are both not alive. And there is what is described as rivers of blood. Now they don't know that, so they're freaked out already enough. They go outside, they call 911, and this was at 11:55 a.m. And when the police and the paramedics arrive, they also see that, or they find that Kaylee and Maddie are no longer here as well. So they don't know anybody that could possibly do this to their friends, 4 of their friends.
Right.
They don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, and during the investigation and checking out the crime scene, they actually even found a sheath to a knife, a K-bar knife.
I was going to say, a knife that now scares the shit out of Jesse.
Knife. So, yeah, I just was going into on the podcast that we did on it, I was going into the fact that thing is a very scary ass knife. It's really crazy.
And we have also covered another serial killer who also committed crimes at a college right down the road from us. And this guy was called
Gainesville Ripper or Danny
Gainesville
Rolling?
Ripper, Danny
Yeah.
Rolling. And we do have a 2-parter on that.
Yeah.
It was like almost a year ago when we did that. So go back if you're new to us, go back and check out our whole catalog.
Screaming
We've got a lot
for Danny Rolling. Yes.
Well, so there was a 47-day investigation to figure out who committed these horrific crimes on these kids that were going places. And like I said, like Jesse said, a knife sheath was left behind. So they had DNA on that. And then the FBI gets involved and they are looking over surveillance from cameras that were all around the area. And they find that this Hyundai Elantra was seen in the area several times and sped off around 4 12:20 a.m. on the day of the murders. So they track all that to a guy. Well, he was a man. He was almost 30 years old, who was a criminology major. He was getting his doctorate in this subject, named Brian Koberger. And Brian was all the way on the East Coast, where he's from, when they arrested him. So why did he do it? What was the motive? And I do say this in the episode. There's not really a solid established motive, but he studied and admired another serial killer, or a man named Elliot Rodger, who was an incel. And this guy hated women. He was a misogynist, and he decided to take out 6 people, injure 14, and then took his own life. And this guy ended up being a hero to Brian Koberger. And he had been a part of this incel community that's terrifying.
That is still going on. That's a real thing.
And I say in the episode that it could be... Okay, hold on. Okay, I don't know what the live did there, but as like I said, I have to really be careful with my words on TikTok. So this is a community where men just hate women that they can't connect with. So they just basically sit around and just talk shit about people that they don't know, people that they're jealous of, and that's dangerous and terrifying.
Yeah, they all get together and they just sit there and say hate a whole bunch.
Well, so the crimes happened on, November 13th, excuse me. And Brian was arrested on December 30th. So like I said, in between there, everybody, the survivors, Hunter Johnson, we talk about a guy who is called Sober Bro, who helps out getting kids from place to place safely. These people are all scrutinized. And there was another guy. So Kaylee and Maddie had went to a food truck in the area that did a live Twitch every night. And there was a guy in the back in a white hoodie who seemed suspicious because it looked like he was kind of following them.
Just because he looked shady, they were scrutinizing him and going after him. Just because he was just in a picture, a video.
In a video. And, online sleuths and TikTokers looking for clout, or any kind of influencer looking for clout was just tearing these people apart. And the police aren't talking a lot because they are in serious investigation trying to figure out who actually did this. So they couldn't say certain things, but they would come forward in the press and say, these people are not suspected. These people we're not looking at. So that maybe the social media, crazy people would leave them alone.
Yeah, and this all took place like right before Thanksgiving, and they actually closed the school down and had
an early Thanksgiving break. Yeah, early Thanksgiving break.
Was already on his way back home across the country with his dad. So
he did that for Christmas break. So this was a whole
went all the way into Christmas.
But in between, there was a suspicious handle called Papa Roger, Elliot Rodger, and with a AI generated profile, who was in a discussion group on Facebook, saying a lot of inappropriate things about this. So it was a Facebook group about this case, and because a lot of people thought that maybe, especially the 2 administrators, they thought that maybe this would help find who did this because, like I said, there was like a gag order and the police weren't talking a lot. So maybe they thought they could help. And they were also, these 2 women, they were trying to gain a following to officially, or to actually have a podcast later on. So they were trying to gain their following first. We didn't do that. We just started the podcast. And we're just letting it roll. Yeah. And we're gaining as we go. which I kind of like, because if you're a first timer, we've got a whole catalog of things for you to go back and listen to. So
Yeah, building as we go.
yeah, we're just building as we go. This is our hobby, and we're just doing our thing. But these women were trying to establish a following before they started a podcast.
Right.
And they noticed that this one profile, Papa Roger, was constantly having, posting inappropriate things or inappropriate comments. So they banned him, which erases the digital footsteps that they could have possibly turned in. But you don't know. Like, hindsight is 2020. You don't know what you're doing until later on. You don't know.
You're trying to eliminate
what
the problem.
Evidence.
Yeah.
Right. You're just trying to eliminate this creep bag that everybody's complaining about. And by the way, I didn't say this earlier, but he was fired from his teaching assistant job at the University of, what did I say, Washington State? Oh my God, I gotta go back and look.
Which is the next closest university from where they were.
Yeah, it was so it's a whole different state, but it's only an 8-minute drive from Moscow, Idaho. So he had already been fired from his TA position because he was misogynist towards women. And he had been given several warnings to correct this behavior, and he didn't. So there's another kind of, motive. He just took it out on people that he thought in his horrible brain possibly deserved it. Or I don't even know how somebody like that thinks. I really don't know. But he did end up pleading guilty in 2025. This happened in 2022. So he ended up pleading guilty in 2025, and he was sentenced to 10 years for burglary that also happened. Go and listen to the full episode so you can see what that was about. And then 4 consecutive life sentences, and was ordered to pay restitution in the amount of $270,000. And the audiobook that I listened to is the Idaho 4, An American Tragedy. And the documentary series that I watched is called One Night in Idaho, The College Murders on Amazon, and that's on Amazon Prime. And give both of those, read the book or listen to the audiobook, watch the documentary, because it just gives you so much insight as to what 4 families, when a tragedy like this happens, and friends that were surrounding them, what they go through. And it's terrible.
Do you think, Lindsay, if somebody has to serve 4 life sentences, would ever pay $1 toward restitution?
No, unless they're doing some kind of work where they're getting paid by, the state, I guess. I don't know how that works at all.
I just think that was just said because it's not going to matter. I mean, you're going to die in prison. You're going to spend your whole life in prison. So why would you, who would actually do it? I don't know. That's just a thing. I guess they just say that, And or the parents have to pay that, which is garbage,
Like every parent in this situation my heart just broke. I was very emotional researching this case. But for some reason, like Maddie's mom made me cry the hardest because that was her only child.
Yeah.
Her only child. And it's just hard. Like your heart just goes out, especially when this is just being blown out of proportion online, and people that had nothing to do with it are being scrutinized because somebody from the outside looking in was like, oh, you didn't do this right. You didn't react right. You didn't say the right things when you made the We don't know how we're going to act in a situation like that. I don't ever want to imagine walking in and seeing my friends in that state. I'm trying to be careful with my words here so I don't get another restriction.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to do. I have frozen in my own, in minor situations in fear. That's a major situation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you try to have a mindset of if this ever happens, this is what I'm going to do. But when it actually happens, it's all changed. It all comes to a head. You're in the situation. What do I do right now? because I'm going through what I'm physically seeing and going through. So it does
You
change
don't,
things. Yeah.
you can't control what your body and mind are going to do. Like it's crazy because you honestly, at those point when you are dealing with something like that, you honestly don't have control.
Right. I agree.
You don't have control.
Yeah.
And researching and listening to a lot of true crime over the years has actually taught me that. I can actually say that I used to be like, oh my God, I would do this different. I would do that different. But now I know I have no answers. Mm-hmm. I have no valid opinion on that because you just don't know what you're going to do until you're in that situation at all. And these are kids and people just ruin their lives for no reason. Mm-hmm. And this guy ruined 4 families and several other friends' lives for literally no reason.
Yep.
And it's really, really terrible.
So definitely go back and check it out. You can hear all the in and outs and the deeper dive into that whole story. Both of them, they were both completely wild. You just always keep throwing all this stuff at me, Lindsay.
Well, I mean, both of these are absolutely shocking. Yeah. Catherine Knight, I don't know, that one.
Ooh.
That one really shook me for a minute.
Yeah. And I really do. We'll go through the motions, and then like a month later, I'm like, I'm moving on, dude. I'm not going to hang on to this. But some of them I do, which is why we're releasing this week the West Memphis 3 stuff.
Yeah,
so,
we're going to be, so we're taking a little break. We're going to be re-releasing our 3-parter on the West Memphis 3. And then we will have a whole new episode on somebody that we will be watching perform while at Rockville.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to share that story.
Yeah. We'll be on turn 4.
Yes.
The Orange Lot.
Yes.
Welcome to Rockville.
Yes.
Yeah.
With our camping family.
Where number 3 had his famous, tragic accident.
Do you know that I've never, like, my dad would watch races sometimes, but that's not my bag. Like, it's still not to this day. And I just happened to be at my cousin's house in a little town over called Live Oak. And I was at their house having dinner. And that was the day that happened. My cousin's husband had it on the TV. And we were outside talking, gabbing it up, catching up. And he comes out and was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
there people that don't watch football still watch the Super Bowl. People that don't watch NASCAR still watch the Daytona 500. That's just
true.
what they do. So, yeah, we'll be there. And we have a cool story. I know a little bit about it, but Lindsay knows way more.
I have really went in deep with this one, y'all. I've already listened to one audiobook, and the other one that this person wrote was not on audiobook, and I really needed to read that one. So I bought it.
Yeah.
And I'm already a few chapters in, and I'm going to read some more before we go.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. DrinkaboutSomething.site. If you want to find all of our material, it's that easy.
Yes, drinkaboutSomething.site.
Yeah.
On Instagram, we are drinkaboutSomething. On TikTok here, hey, TikTok. We are drinkaboutSomethingPod_Lindsay. And where are we at on the YouTubes?
Jensey, JENDSEY is one of the channels. And it'll bring you to everything we got going on. So it's easy to find.
We're also, and like I said, you can find all of our platforms through the main website. And
yeah, Spotify,
well, there's one more.
Apple, everything.
So our email address is drinkaboutSomethingPod@gmail.com.
Yeah. Easy.
Yes.
I think that's easy, right? Yeah. That's a long thing, but it's easy, right? We're not rebranding.
No.
I think we got it going on here.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in and checking us out. And we'll
stay tuned for next week or for Friday so listen to our re-release on the West Memphis 3.
Yeah.
Tune in next Friday for a brand new case, and then Wednesdays is when we publish our recaps.
Yeah, we got a ton of stuff coming to you.
Oh yeah,
it'll be fun.
I got a list for days. And if you're new to us, we cover true crime. We have some drinky drinks, and at the end of the episode, Jesse plugs a band that we do have permission to put on our episode.
Yeah, that's what we do.
It's what we do.
Yeah.
And we love you so much. We're going to sign off of YouTube now.
Yeah.
We're going to hang out on TikTok for a minute.
Yeah.
We love you so much. And
bye.
Bye.